Hey guys, how you doing? This is JP Saricolia coming to you once again with another episode of Age of Heroes, my podcast. So whoever is listening to this podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Castbox, TuneIn, SoundCloud, Spotify, welcome. And also to those who are watching the video here on YouTube, thank you very much. Thank you for coming and welcome. So without any further ado, let's get into the conversation today because I'm really interested on this one. Of course, maybe if you pay attention to the news, if you you follow through the different media outlets, through social media, any place there, the talk is right now, of course, is Disney taking over or taking total control over Hulu. Of course, as we know. They purchased a big portion of it, with everything that they did, of course. They pretty much took ownership, and they're the biggest owner. Last month, I think it was last month or some time ago, they purchased the remaining 9.5% that belonged to AT&T. Of course, AT&T wasn't restructuring the company, so they got rid of some of those assets that they were no longer interested, and they took that. So that of course, Disney was already the biggest seller, the biggest owner in Hulu, and now, of course, the remainder, the other partner, which is Comcast, who actually owns 33% of the, in this case, the stock in Hulu. They came into an agreement with Disney, and probably you have heard those news that they're everywhere. They came into an agreement, and actually right now Comcast is becoming a silent partner, which means that they're just going to step out. They're just going to get the money or revenue, whatever they make out of it, in the next 5 years, because Disney is not able to purchase the remainder stock because, of course, they've been through there's a lot of legalities in it because they've been pretty much since last year, they've been through a shopping spree. They've been purchasing everything, and I mean literally everything. So, of course, there's some limitations of what they can purchase. But, of course, according to the numbers, and the first one that actually broke the news, that was Variety magazine. They broke it on Tuesday, and they talk, and I'm going to have all these links for you so you can go back and read them through. There's a lot of information there. And of course, in this article of Variety says Disney assumes full control of Hulu in deal with Comcast. So the remaining 33%, pretty much, which is in this case Comcast, they're just going to pretty much sit that one down and going to let pretty much Disney take the wheel and decide what the future is going to be for Hulu. So, of course, there's a lot of it. And at the end of this, supposedly by 2024, they're going to be able to sell it directly to Disney. And that's the plan for no less than $5.8 billion, depending, of course, on the market and how big it is at that time, at that point. And of course, Comcast, which also, owns NBC Universal, it has the ability actually to pull some of the stuff now, because some of the stuff that they have NBC that is actually on Hulu has been on Hulu. Some of the shows, some of the seasons are going to be pulled one way or another, whether they don't have to do it in pretty much until 2024. They can actually do it anytime soon. And as you know, Comcast is in plans right now to create their own streaming service, NBCU. And definitely this is, as you can see, there is a movement of powers all around, the big companies, the big corporations trying to put their pieces in the right places, of course, because we are heading to a battle of giants. Big corporations battling for control of the streaming service spectrum, for the space. And definitely that's a lot of things that, of course, a lot of people are scared about. There's a lot of pluses, a lot of also negatives. But also there's a lot of expectation because we really don't know exactly what's going to happen. And of course, this is the reason of the podcast today. And of course, I'll go through Variety. As you can see, as I mentioned, this has been going through this shopping spree, purchasing left and right everything pretty much that is available. With Fox, the Fox deal, which we're all excited for, of course. But Disney as a conglomerate, it has so many companies under its belt. As you can see, let me give you a list of some of them. That doesn't mean that they're all of them, but these are the big ones. You have ABC, you got 20th Century Fox, you got Fox Searchlight Pictures, you have 20th Century Fox Television, you have FX Networks, National Geographic Partners, Touchstone Pictures, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, and of course Hulu. And of course, and they're consolidating right now. This is consolidating everything and they consolidate their power. As you know, right now with the streaming services, there's been this battle between giants. Of course, Netflix, who I've been pretty much a fan of Netflix since it started. I've been pretty much a customer since the beginning, since there was just only DVDs that came in the mail. And of course, Netflix, you have in this case also with DC that has been trying to get into it with their own streaming services, which I'm not a fan of. Some people love Titans. I might consider Doom Patrol because I like the Doom Patrol storylines in the comics. But beyond that, I don't see it. I try a little bit. I wasn't crazy about it. There's just not enough content to really justify the price tag, in my opinion. It would have been nice if actually Warner Brothers was throwing everything they have into one single package. Something that actually seems like Disney Plus is doing. Because Disney Plus, this is not the first rodeo for Disney. For those that might remember this, actually their first, I would say, step into the streaming service with Disney Anywhere, which, it was all right because I tried it. It was just a lot of Disney stuff, but it didn't go nowhere. Of course, Disney Anywhere evolved into become what then, of course, became, of course, now Movies Anywhere, which actually is competing with Vudu when it comes about streaming content that you purchase. As you know, the ultraviolet, this case, system, ultraviolet platform that just pretty much went out the window. Many companies, many studios trying to get into it, trying to really compete with Disney on that one. It didn't work out. It worked out to a certain extent, which is disappointing about the streaming service part, because ultimately, pretty much they disbanded. And of course, you still can watch your collection of ultraviolet. Of course, if you link all of that to Vudu or to other services, which I did, they were all linked in my case. So they were linked to Movies Anywhere. There were links to Vudu. So definitely I didn't lose any of those movies. But of course now, in this case, Disney's trying to go their own route, and Movies Anywhere now belongs to Disney. And I like it. Definitely, there's a competition between Vudu that is owned, in this case, by Walmart, and Disney, of course, with Movies Anywhere. So all of this, of course, you see all these powers. Everybody's setting, this is a stage that has been set, and everyone is taking their place in this pretty much board game and this chess game to find who is going to be the top winner. And of course, Disney is doing their move. Other companies are also doing their move. Everyone trying to go around it, and you see this fragmentation of the services. Now, let's retrace a little back because we need to know exactly what happened. Now, of course, before the streaming services, that is something really kind of would say recent, probably from the last 10 years, if I were to be exact. We've been seeing the streaming service. Of course, the creation of YouTube brought the opportunities for a lot of these services to come. People were looking online for the opportunity to watch all the shows, television, all type of programming. So of course there was an evolution. Prior to that, people have cable. We all have cable. But once we went into the streaming service, I cut cable 10 years ago. I don't have cable. I don't miss it. Sometimes I miss cable. Let's say, for example, when I'm watching or want to watch like the World Cup, I'm Mexican, I'm Latino, and as a Latino man, I love to watch the World Cup. Football, as is known, all over the world, soccer in the U.S., I love it, particularly watching in Spanish. So a lot of the services, of course, you're able to watch the games for free online, but up to a certain extent, the first two rounds. But then when you go to the finals or the last rounds, then you have to have some type of subscription with some type of cable company, cable provider, which I don't have. Like I said, I've been out of cable for 10 years. I don't miss it. So those are the only times maybe when there's special events like that or the Olympics where I really want to do it. But that just happens every 4 years. It's not like something that you need to watch on a timely basis every day. And because there's so many services, I've been pretty much a customer of Netflix since the beginning. I've been a customer of Hulu since the start of Hulu. And I have other services like Acorn, they multiple others. I do use Crunchyroll, you name it. They have so many that I don't even count all of them. But, they have content, and there's a lot of free actually apps as well where you can watch a lot of these movies with ads, all movies, all cartoons, all kind of content. So definitely the vast array of movies and content out there. And of course, you can go and watch stuff on Amazon Prime. You can actually watch stuff, of course, even on YouTube. So there's so much stuff out there that, of course, as the numbers show, and there's other, and I'm going to have all these links to you for different things you can read. some different sites and different websites and information that is provided in numbers. As you can see, there's a downfall, a decline of the service in this case with people on cable, regular cable. People are flooding the streaming services because first of all, because it's more convenient. The pluses of the streaming services are this. First of all, it's convenient. You can watch it whenever you like. You're not a prisoner of their timeline. You're not prisoner of the schedules. You can watch it, Ving watch it. You can do whatever. You choose the time to watch what you want to watch, when you want to watch it, and wherever you want to watch it. You don't have to be limited by just watch something on TV. You can watch something on your phone, on your tablet, and anywhere. So there's a lot of pluses on the streaming services because of that. Of course, cost is cheaper nowadays. Going into the cable providers, you pay in top dollar for a lot of junk that nobody wants. There's a lot of channels that I don't care, but they're part of a package, and you have to purchase this package. Sometimes you only care for one channel that is in this package, and it costs you adds more money. It's just for one single channel you have to pay $20 more added to that package, so you can have all of this. And of course, they plan it in a way that you don't have everything at once, so you have to pay more than just the regular or the basic program or the basic plan in order to get everything you want, or at least closer to what you want. So of course, some of the downfalls and the things with cable, the lack of control in that sense, with the streaming services, you can watch it multiple times. You don't have to be controlled by a box or two boxes. You have to pay for an extra box. So there's a lot of pluses. Of course, companies know that, and companies are adjusting to the market. And there's actually one very interesting article by US Today, and I'm going to have the link again. And he's talking about what it really means for the cord cutters, for the binge watchers, for the people that are really moving away from cable, or the people that are not, pretty much with cable anymore. Of course, we're going to see an increase on the ad revenue, on the ads on the services and streaming services, because of course, that stuff, the money that was made in cable through ads and advertisement, it has to go somewhere. Of course, it's coming to YouTube. It's part of YouTube. You get more ads. You get more ads on social media because the people spend more time in social media. You get ads on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and all these places. And of course, what people watch, whatever they stream, all the services I have. Of course, Hulu has ads. You can go adless. You have to pay extra for that, but you're going to see an increase on that. To what extent, we don't know, but we are going to see more and more of this as time progresses. So, there's a lot of pluses and a lot of negatives. And this is a race, really. Technically, it's a race for these companies to control the market, to have as much power with that. Now, what is the reason I'm bringing all this to this podcast today? What is the reason I'm talking about it? Because it's very important. First of all, important to us as fans of these franchises that we have grown accustomed, the franchises that we love. We love a lot of these franchises, Marvel, DC stuff, HBO stuff. We love like a lot of people love Game of Thrones. I'm not a fan, but there's a big fan, and I'm not going to dismiss that, the fandom there. And there's so many providers, so many services, so many franchises, so many IPs, so much stuff out there that is amazing. And that content is online. Pretty much the fruit is there for the taking. And the opportunities are there for people like you and I to really enjoy all of this that is given to us. Now, as we see this, and I was reading through some articles where people are talking about there's the fear, the fragmentation. And I've seen that on some videos also on YouTube. People are talking about it. The fear is what's going to happen. First of all, the cost is going to increase in one way or another. As everyone is flooding, this market, moving from cable, and cable is going to die, eventually is going to die for the streaming services, for online services. We're going to see, of course, an increase in the costs because that's now the medium. Now, it used to be the streaming services are an option. They are an option in most places, and now they're pretty much a powerhouse, but they're still an option. You still have the option of going back to cable, which nobody's going to do. So, of course, there is the price point. They're trying to bring more people by lowering the price, the cost, of making it more affordable, enticing for people. But, of course, we're going to see a drop. And, of course, as all these services, we're going to have NBC their own services. Now, of course, Netflix is losing a lot of stuff from Marvel and Star Wars and stuff, and they're already preparing for that. They've been preparing for that for quite a while, which I'm very impressed because they have great content. And Netflix is not leaving my house. I'm going to be watching it unless something really bad happens to Netflix. I'm going to continue supporting Netflix because they have great shows, and I'm really happy with that. DC is going to try to do something. I don't think DC is going to survive if they continue with that. The structure or the plan they have to evolve, and I'm thinking that maybe Warner Brothers is going to have to step in and to also stream their services within that frame of work to make it something that is enticing to put money, because Disney is really bringing the house down with their price. The Disney Plus service is going to be $6.99, which is a great price. It's a great starting price. The reason I haven't discounted or discontinued Hulu, and I thought about it for so long, because believe me, from all the services that I use, Hulu is the least favorite. I'm not a fan of some of the shows. I don't care for much of the content. One of the reasons I was keeping it for a couple of years was because of the anime stuff, because I would like to watch anime. But now you can actually watch a lot of that stuff in Crunchyroll. You can watch a lot of anime there, and of course, for free. You can actually subscribe, or you can do it for free and just have to watch the ads, which I don't mind. I grew up in the cable era. I grew up before the cable era when it was just normal television, so I'm all used to it. That's no problem for me for some extra ads here and there. But you see all this fragmentation of all the services. And of course, the fear is, we're going to have so many services that technically we're going back to the time of the cable. It's like you buying a plan and you have to add all these different plans. Now, the difference is that you're not paying one single individual, one single company. You're paying multiple companies. You ultimately the same amount of money it's paid to all these different services. You have to pay to DC, you got to pay to Disney, you got to pay to NBC that is coming, you got to pay Acorn, you got to pay whoever, Amazon, all of these services. You're paying all these people for all this stuff, and you don't have it all in one single place. You have to have all these apps. Of course, in the same services, the same machines, they have all the apps, but at the same time, I feel that it's so many different places to go and there's no real control. Of course, that creates some type of fear for a lot of people, because it's a lot of money going, and what we're supposed to do, can people afford to have so many different services and pay all the services, HBO and all of that, and all this really brings those questions, because even for watching sports, you have to pay for a service where there is this or that. You have to pay for all of that. Now, the question here is this. And the reason why of the podcast here is today, because of course, I was thinking about it, and part of me felt like a bit, man, this is going to be kind of horrible, trying to decide what is the best services, trying to go to all these different places. So I was talking to my wife about it, of course, because people have concerns. And I have my concerns, I'm not a person, I'm an optimist, but sometimes I have concerns about what the future is going to bring. And some things, as a geek, I worry about those things maybe, or I think about those things. But my wife reminded me of something that is very important. She said, well, it is what it is. At the end of the day, consumers have the last say. You don't have to sign up for everything. You don't have to be part of everything. You just be part of what you like. You speak with your wallet. And you know what? When she said that to me, it really reminds me of that yes, it might feel that there's a fragmentation, so many services, but ultimately the power is in our hands. The power is in your hands as a consumer. The power is in the hands of us that we love these franchises or the geeks that we love all of this. You support what you support. And this is my thing. Yes, the world's going to change. It's fun. It's scary, all of that. But at the same time, as the world evolves and everything evolves and our franchises evolve whether there's under Disney roof or whoever, ultimately we're the ones that decide if we like the product or not. And this is this thing, we always have to keep that in mind. I'm excited for Disney Plus services because they bring in a lot of stuff through Disney. I'm excited for Hulu because, to be honest with you, I was about to cut Hulu until I've been waiting for quite a while for this news, because as we know now and in the control of Disney, the talk says that actually what this is going to do is going to bring a lot of the G content, all the family content, all the stuff that they normally PG-13 perhaps is going to go into, in this case, onto Disney Plus. Stuff for Disney, new shows for Marvel, all of that. So I'm very excited for all of that. and all the stuff that already own from, Marvel and Star Wars, all of that is going to come. So we're going to have a new content there. But what really excites me is the fact that actually it's going to be tied up with Hulu Plus, with Hulu. And actually, and the idea with Hulu is that a lot of the content that is not going to make it because of what might be more mature content to the Disney service because of what already decided what the level of content or what they want to offer there is going to end up in Hulu Plus. So that's a big plus because there's a lot of movies that are owned by Fox. A lot of stuff like in Deadpool, and beyond, they're going to end up there, So definitely, I think that there's a lot of pluses, and they're going to have packages where you can have that on ESPN, and of course, Disney. So there's a lot of things here that really excite me for that. I can tell you one thing: if the package is good, the amount is good, the price is good, the content is good, I'm gonna keep Hulu and I'm gonna keep the package. If not, Hulu's gonna go away, and I'm going to just pay for Disney Plus. And if Disney Plus doesn't give what they promised, I'm gonna just cut them as well. Because at the end of the day, I already own all those Marvel movies and all those Star Wars movies and all the series and animated stuff. I own it all because I'm a geek. I love all of that. So the same happens with DC. The reason why I didn't tie the knot with DC is because whatever they offer me, I already own. And to be honest with you, the rest, what is left, it's not worth the price tag. And the same happens with everything. Netflix has been doing great. I love Netflix. Some people are scared what's going to happen when Netflix loses all the shows, Marvel and the Disney stuff. But at the end of the day, Netflix is trying and has been preparing for this for quite a while with great shows, great content. Not only the stuff they did with Marvel that was great, but you look at the Umbrella Academy, you look at Strange Things, you look at all these different things that they're doing, and all this content and all the shows that they have, amazing movies. They're really preparing the content, and they really giving the consumer what they really want, something refreshing, something new, something totally different. And I think, in my opinion, that's the way to go. So ultimately, all I can tell you one thing: I don't think it might be scary in one way, thinking, okay, this is going to control entertainment from now on. They're going to dictate how the market is going to fluctuate. But I think the change is coming, but also companies are understanding that if they want to compete, they want to give the consumers what they want. Like I hear also this week and some news, actually Sony and Microsoft are getting together and planning to really enforce and really strengthen the cloud system, for streaming games online from the cloud. And I think for a lot of times people were fighting for this because Sony's always been very hermetic about it, not really open to it. But now Sony is more open to it because Sony's coming to the understanding if they want to win, although they've been the winners and they're winning right now in the race of consoles, they're selling a lot, they're at the top of their game. Nintendo's coming closer. Microsoft has, with the Xbox, has really not really fared that well. But they understand now, these companies, that if they want to perform, people want a united system. They want to see a cloud system. Also, they want to see people be able to play between different systems, not be just part of one single, I would say space, but be able to be part of the whole space, the whole universe, the whole streaming service for video games. There's a lot of pluses here. So I think companies are understanding this if they want to stay afloat, that they want to produce more money. Because at the end of the day, Disney's putting a lot of money, but this is a lot of investment money. This is a lot of money that they invest in, and they need to get that money back one way or another. So the options are there. The opportunity is there. I think it's time for us to really look at it in that perspective, that we have the power, we have the control, is what we say, what we purchase, and based on our purchase power and our control, what we say yes and what we say no is how the companies are going to operate. But what is your opinion? I would like to hear it. Please share your thoughts below. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button on YouTube if you're watching this video. If you're listening this for the first time, please subscribe to the podcast, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Castbox, TuneIn, SoundCloud, Spotify. Share that with your friends as well, so more people can come to see my content, hear my content. You can also follow me on social media. You can follow me on my Facebook page, on my Instagram, on my Twitter. The links are down below. And also, please consider supporting me financially. You can do that every time you go through the links, through the affiliate links through Amazon, and you purchase anything. And this has to be whatever is in my link. Could be anything in Amazon. I get a kickback, so that benefits my my channel. Or you can support me financially through, in this case, through Patreon on a monthly basis, $1, $2, $2, whatever amount you decide. It really helps me out. No amount is too little or too small or too big. You can also do that as a one-time gift. You can do that through PayPal, or you can do that through GoFundMe. The links are down below. The options are there for you. So once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I wish you the best of weekends. And I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.